So what is the fourth dimension and how the things will be different in the fourth dimension? So to be able to understand the fourth dimension, we have to first understand what dimension actually is. So dimension is simply used to measure that in how much directions you can move in an open space. So if you are a one dimensional object, you can only move in one direction in an open space, and if you are two, you can move in two, and the same if you have a three dimensional object, you can move in all three direction in the space. So to be able to understand the first dimension, we have this example. So example, you can see this. It has only one side. I mean, you can only an organism, if some organism is living inside that particular structure. If some organism is living in that particular dimension, it can only travel in only one directions. So basically, it don't have any depth. The only thing it is length. So that's why an organism can only travel in one direction in that particular dimension. So that's why it is called first dimension. And what is second dimension? So second dimension is something like this. So hypothetically, if an organism is living inside that two dimension, it can only travel in two dimensions. Like we have length here and we have width. So this particular organism can only travel in two dimension, and it can only travel anywhere between that a particular two-dimensional world. So that's why it is called two dimensions, because an organism can only travel in two dimensions. So now we will come to our three dimensions. So what is the three dimension actually is? So in three dimensions we have length, we have width, and we have height. So we have all of the three dimensions. For example, the room you are living, it also a three-dimensional room. You can travel forward and backward, you can travel left to right, and you can travel up to down. So it have all of the three dimension. So you can travel all of the three dimensions. So that's why the world we are living right now, it's a three-dimensional world. So what is the fourth dimension actually is? So to brief you, I will turn on my rear camera. So in this image you can see that it is the fourth dimensional tesseract cube. So in this cube you can see that we have a three-dimensional cube in between, and we have three-dimensional cubes everywhere. So it is the four-dimensional tesseract cube you can see in this image. So in the fourth dimension we can also see in time, and in fourth dimension a new dimension adds, which is called time. And we can also see in time, as I shown you the image. In this particular image a tesseract cube, you can also see in time. I mean, you have all of your you have all of your memories. Maybe it is your childhood, maybe it will be your future, and you have everything in front of you simultaneously at the moment. So that's why it is a fourth dimension. You can also in fourth dimension you can also see in time, and it is a tesseract cube. And if you have watched the movie Interstellar, in that movie Cooper somehow trapped in the black hole, and he reached in the tesseract cube where he can see his daughter, her childhood memory, and basically he can see in time. So it is a tesseract cube. You can also see in time in the fourth dimension. And basically we are a three-dimensional being, so we can also perceive things in two dimensions, because every organism can see and perceive things and is the one lesser dimension. So basically, if you are a three-dimensional being, you can only perceive things in two dimensions, right? So you can only see length and width. There is nothing about depth. So for example, if you are in a room, you can see the wall in front of you. So you can only see that the length and width of that particular wall. You cannot see the depth, and you know about the depth because of your memory. It has stored, and you can conceive thing in three dimensions because of your memory. You have seen things in the past. So you cannot calculate the depth because you are a three-dimensional being, and you can only see the things in two dimensions. And for the two-dimensional being, if someone for example, so the same, if an organism living in that two-dimensional space, it can only perceive thing in one dimension. So it can only see in line. There is nothing, I mean width. So a two-dimensional being So a two-dimensional being only see in one dimension. It can only see in one particular line and one particular direction. So that's why it is called a two-dimensional being. So a two-dimensional being only see in one dimension. It can only see in one particular line and one particular direction. So that's why it is called a two-dimensional being. So yeah, we are a three-dimensional being. We cannot assume that how the four-dimensional object and we cannot calculate that an organism living in four dimension how he can perceive things, because we have the vision according to the three dimensions. So that's all about the four dimension, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope you understand my vision. So thank you very much, guys. Bye bye.